This is Aubrey from sportbiketrackgear.com, and today we are going to finish up the front end of my bike. You saw us take everything off, and what we ended up doing was splitting it into two parts because we would have been here forever if I tried to do it all at once for you guys. So today we need to get all of the controls back on, and we really have to start with getting the fairing stay changed out. And this was a brand new fairing stay until I crashed at Barber, so we will be putting on another one by Moto Brackets. Good quality product, fits pretty well, and it's nice and affordable. So first we have to pull the air duct extension off here. And then we also have to loosen take the bracket off. Okay, now that I have the fairing bracket off, we had to unplug the connector, and now I have to transfer a couple parts over that are going to go for the new fairing stay. Okay, we have my new fairing bracket here. We need to transfer over the remainder of the grommets that hold the gauge cluster in. This will also act as an insulator and help cut down vibration on the cluster itself. Okay, now that I have the cluster all mounted up, make sure you put your seal between the fairing bracket and the frame. Make sure it's mounted correctly. We're going to get this mounted up, and I'm only going to install the screws on the left-hand side because we're going to install a Bowlin's top mount steering damper, and I'm going to use the bracket on the other side. And here is our Bowlin's mount that we're going to install on the side of the fairing bracket here. We are going to use a little bit of Loctite on the bolts. This is the blue Loctite too, don't use red. We want to make sure that the bolts don't come loose because this is our steering damper, and this is kind of important. If it's loose, you can have a dead spot or more problems. Okay, now that everything's tight on the fairing stay, we're going to put in the snorkel for the ram air. Slide that in there, and they don't always fit that nicely or stay on that nicely, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a zip tie. We drilled a hole in the fairing stay and also in the snorkel here. We're going to put a zip tie in to hold it nice and tight. Okay, now that I have the zip ties all tightened, we're going to do a little trick here. We're going to take a lead wheel weight and we are going to put it between the frame and the steering stop. If you have a crash like I did, the handlebars get all bent up and it's going to damage or could potentially damage the steering stops on the bike. So you put the nice soft lead wheel weight in between, and it might prevent or should help prevent any sort of damage. Okay, now we are going to install the Bowlin steering damper. We're going to slide the mount here over my fork tube, and we're going to put a little bit of Loctite on our bolts because once again we don't want this to come loose. And we are not going to tighten everything for the damper because we want to make sure that the sweep is correct, and we're going to do that later once everything is, once the bike's put together all the way and it's off the stand. Okay, now that we have the damper all nice and tight, we're going to put on the clip-ons. I have Apex manufacturing clip-ons, nice and adjustable. It has a pin on the inside that you can adjust the angle of the bar itself, which is the reason I chose this. Each side we already matched it up so they're on the same angle. You want to make sure that this fastener is tight all the way before you put it on. We're going to leave the smaller bolts loose and then get it on here. We're going to take our throttle assembly and we're going to slide it on first. Makes it a little bit easier and saves us some time. Okay, and I have a new braking lever here. We are going to first take the clutch cable, feed it through the perch, and then we have to go ahead and put it through the lever itself. And slide everything together here. Grab my clip-on for this side and slide it through first, like the other side, makes it a little bit easier. Okay, and we'll go back through and tighten everything up here in a little bit. We can now take our triple clamp here. Slide it on, and then my new steering stem nut. Okay, and now we are going to grab a torque wrench and tighten our steering stem bolt. Okay, and we're going to come over here to our clip-on, and we're going to put on our switch here. And we're not going to tighten everything because we're still going to move it around and get everything in the right position. And our master cylinder, our nice new braking levers. One thing I want to point out first is when we tighten it, we're going to tighten the top part of the clamp first and make sure that's tight all the way, and then tighten the bottom one, which will kind of pick up that little bit of extra tension for us and make sure it's nice and fit it on there properly. Lastly, we're going to slide on the new start on-off switch that I have. This replaces the ignition that we took off before. And we can go ahead and tighten this a little bit. And now we're pretty much ready to go ahead and put our airbox on. That way we can put the gas tank on, the rest of the body work. Then we will go ahead and tighten the rest of our hand controls and really make sure that's in the right position. But we want to be able to sit on the bike before we get to that.